And welcome back to my channel. Hi, everyone. This is Kenya. And the topic in my alignment journey that I am on, my GLP alignment journey, I started on GLP-1. Here's what happened in week one. Dun, dun, dun. What happened in week one? First of all, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you. If you are wanting to hear more about GLP-1, if you yourself are on that GLP-1 journey, or if you are thinking about going on that journey, or you have completed that journey, I'm glad that you decided to tune in. If you follow me for astrology or for my retreats or for music or anything else, and you just want to hear how I'm doing, welcome. Make sure you push subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Make sure you like and share and comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. I really appreciate everyone who, my first video talking about this whole GLP-1 situation, I really appreciate the comments have been so inspiring and have really allowed me to really just be very grateful for being seen and for deciding to be transparent in something that I've never been transparent about in live time. So I appreciate those comments and I would love to continue to get them. So thank you. So what I wanted to be able to do since I started, I announced I was doing this is like, so how's it going, Kenya? Well, I started. I took my first shot. I'm taking trizepatide, which is Zepbound, the brand name, but I'm doing the compounded version of that. And I'm doing that through MIDI, which is a telehealth medical group that focuses on women in midlife. So from hormone replacement therapy to weight management, GLP-1, so forth. And so I got the medication dropped off on my front door. Um, New Year's Eve. And so I knew that it was going to be coming somewhere around that time. So I had already gone out, did my grocery shopping. Honestly, a couple of weeks before starting, I have already been getting myself all together and prepped for this. And so I was. And so what I'm going to talk about in this 20 to 25-minute, I'm trying not to go more than that, discussion is where's my weight at? How did the weight do? Obviously, that's a big goal of mine. But more importantly, how was it? What worked, what didn't work? Um, what are some ahas and what I did to support myself outside of just taking the medication so that this alignment and this journey and this process is really supported. So that's what I'm hoping to share with you. I hope to share that most weeks. There may be some weeks where I just have, you never know what life's going to do, right, y'all? So, but just to give you kind of, because it's the first week, I was very anxious about starting. I was feeling a little constipated even before. And I know that constipation was something that um, can be a side effect. And constipation is something that I've had to deal with my whole life. And a lot of, again, the gut, the mind, the body, all of that is very connected. And so for me, when I start getting anxious, that affects my pelvic floor. Pelvic floor is a muscle area that really supports your reproductive, the for women, our uterus and so forth. And a lot of times anxiety will show up in a tightened pelvic floor. I know that's a whole nother class, right? That's a whole nother discussion. But that can cause constipation because the tightness won't allow the rectum to open. Listen, that's a lot, TMI. But at any rate, I was feeling anxious because I'm like, are you really gonna do this, Kenya? Are you really gonna do this? But so excited to do it because I've been so ready for the work that I feel like I pour into my body for it to actually change, for some things to happen. And it was interesting that day, I decided to take the shot on the first. And I felt good. I had prepped. I do what's called ingredient prepping. So that's when instead of prepping whole meals, I just prepped proteins and veggies so that I can make protein bowls and salads with protein on it. I made some overnight oats, have some protein shakes already made things that are really simple so I don't have to think about it, but are still really in alignment with the nutrition that's necessary for this whole weight loss journey, as well as just healthiness. And so I also have been going to the gym. I go to the gym 3 times a week. And then 2 days of the week, I do walking and stretching and yoga and Payo. Payo is a combination of Pilates and yoga. And so on January 2nd, which would have been the very next morning after taking the shot, January 1st, that night, I went to the gym. And I always have been going to the gym, but I've been trying to be a little bit more regular with it the past couple of weeks before starting the GLP-1. And I was in the gym and I felt really just fat. I looked like the front view of the mirror at the gym. I was like, okay, you're all right. But then that side view, y'all, my side view, I was like, I worked so hard to try to take care of my body. I'm so much about this life. Why am I repulsed looking at this side view? So I was frustrated, and that was a tough day. It was the full moon, y'all, full moon in Cancer. And that for me is a big deal because I'm a Cancer rising. Anyway, it was a lot emotionally. I was, and what was making me a bit frustrated, kind of starting after looking at that side view, my nurse practitioner decided to start me on a really, 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 really low dose, like lower than like half of what the lowest that I've been really seeing for most clients. Most people who are talking about their GLP-1s who are on trizepatide are saying, they started at 2.5. That's typically what the lowest dosage. Well, my nurse practitioner decided to make that half for me because she really, really wants to be able to monitor how my body is responding to this. But I was frustrated because I was like, that's gonna be too low. I'm looking at this side view. That ain't gonna do nothing. This body is resistant. Anyway, I got over that. I cried that day. I came home to my husband and just let it out and just said, I'm just so frustrated with I do so much to take care of myself. Why is my body not showing up? Or why have I had to come to this point? But I want to say this, I think that GLP-1s is a game changer for many, many reasons. And I think that right now, popular spaces believes that GLP-1 is only for weight loss. And honestly, the weight loss is a byproduct. The GLP-1 is really the science of it is really, really supporting your metabolic health and your hormonal health that's tied to your metabolic health. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to, please don't take what I'm saying as, all the things. But from what I am learning and understanding, this has the potential, if supported correctly and supported appropriately, to really be a game changer in your overall health. So what I experienced in what happened in this week one, first of all, I know you're like, well, did you lose weight? I weighed in today. So this would be day 7 for me. Let me see. Technically, I took the shot on January 1. Yeah. So like 6, 7, something like that. I took it at night. But yeah, I'm down 3.2 pounds in a week, basically. I weighed in this morning. That's where I'm at. So I started at 231.4. I'm 5'8", so that you can kind of get an idea. Um, and so losing 3.2 pounds in a week, I'm very, very happy with that. My goal is to be more around, well, not more, but just a minimum of 1 pound. I don't want to lose the weight too fast, 1 pound per week. I don't want to lose the weight too fast because that can create some other potential medical things. I don't anticipate every week will be, as high necessarily as a 3-pound weight loss. But I think obviously we tend to, when you're starting a program and you're just getting your body kind of started, it tends to release that first week fairly well, typically. So I'm happy with that. And, again, my overall goals in my head is to lose 50 pounds. Um, that's what I'm saying. That may change 20 times or 46 times. Okay. So don't be holding me. Don't be saying, but you said, I don't know. in my head, weighing 180 at 5'8" feels really healthy and athletic for me because I also work out and I do strength training. That feels good for me. I've been that weight before. I was that weight in my 40s, in my early 40s. So, in the past decade, I've put on this 50 pounds. Yeah. 10 pounds, what is it? 5 pounds a year. 5 pounds a year, basically, was what was happening. So anyway, so that's kind of in terms of weight where I'm going to be. But the bigger thing that was really, and this is kind of what I want to be able to talk more about, and then I'll wrap up. You know, for me, honestly, I don't know this dosage that I'm at. I don't really feel an appetite suppressant situation. When I eat clean, when I eat whole foods, when I am not doing a lot of sugars, when I am moving, when I am exercising, when I am hydrating, I don't have weird cravings. I do well. And what has happened and what has been frustrating is that when I do that in the past, I'm still there's the scale doesn't budge, or the scale budges a pound, but then it goes back up and then it goes back down. So what was nice about I kind of weighed, I didn't weigh every day, but I kind of weighed a good 4 days of this week just to see kind of how my body was just progressing. And typically what happens, I'll lose, then the scale will go up, then the scale will go down, then the scale will go up, then the scale will go down. Like it does that in these day to day. And so it was nice to see the scale just go down a little bit, go down a little bit, stay kind of, but not go up. That was refreshing to see that. And that's how, it tells me, okay, the body is sensing something supporting it differently. The other thing that was really aha for me, this is probably the biggest, this, what I'm about to say, may have been bigger than the weight loss. So this is that non-scale win, was how much more calm, how much more calm I felt, how much more my brain just felt, not that the food noise piece, like I wasn't analyzing. But a lot of why I wasn't analyzing also was because I had prepped and I know exactly what is happening for me with food. But on top of that, the calming, so there was calming of the mind, but there was also this, I can feel my body calming from the inflammation a bit. So I tend to retain fluid really badly, mostly in my face and my feet. And so I'll get puffy here and, puffy, just this will be a little bit more puffy. And I'm still puffier because I weigh 228 pounds. But anyway, but my feet are the true indicators of the water puffiness. I have really bad swelling, really bad lymphedema. And so the cleaner I eat, the more I move, the cooler the temperature, the less the swelling typically of, and it's my left ankle, not my right. My right is fine. It's weird, whatever. But I have with this week, definitely not really experiencing, the swelling like I typically do. There's a little bit because, it's been so many years, it's been probably almost over 30 years that I've been dealing with this. That's a whole nother video, y'all. But I could just feel my body saying, hey, we can, I just felt it kind of. And so not so much appetite suppressant. I didn't have any nausea. The pooping, yeah, I got to really stay on top of my pooping anyway. So, I see definitely, yes, the constipation. I can see how that is going. Yeah, yes, but I also know with GLP-1, it's slowing down the motility of your bowels and all the things, and so I don't expect to be pooping every day, every minute, all the things. And so I'm just, just allowing my body to kind of do what it needs to do, support it with fiber, support it with hydration, support it with good fats so that, the lubrication and allow the gut to be lubricated for the poop to come out, all the stuff. And that seems to be fine. So no, not really any bad, no, definitely no nausea. I didn't have any of that. And just I feel grounded. I think that's the best way to put it. And I feel really proud of myself for sticking this week, doing this week what I said I was going to do this week. I also, though, have learned and I already know this, and I coach people with this lifestyle stuff, y'all, meaning having the space and the bandwidth in your life to take care of yourself, to really take care of yourself. What role work plays in your life, what role play plays in your life, what role sex plays in your life, what role any of these things play in our lives that add to our lifestyle. How are we engaging or not in it? And how does that impact how we're able to take care of ourselves, especially those of us, I'm 53, so those of us who are 50 plus, I am, knock on wood, like 1 month away from menopause. So there's just a lot, and what felt good this week and doing it and the timing of doing this when it was the holiday and, it gave me some time to just really focus on myself before like going straight into kind of work mode. And, I've got a lot of decisions I'm making. Y'all know I'm busy with my career life, right? And the astrology is popping off. This year is going to be so what has felt, and I don't know if this is just GLP-1 or this is just again because I've just really been taking care of myself this week because the dosage is the lowest dosage, only been one shot. But I have felt like, don't knock this over, Kim. I have felt like, you know, so it's been a good week. It's been an excellent week, I'm excited to see the scale do, something. Go down. I'm going to continue again with I still have food for my prepping of my ingredient prepping. Um, my gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, still gonna keep with that. Do my stretching. Stretching is really, really important. I make stretching as my workout at least twice a week. Um, and I might put some yoga poses in there and a little bit of Pilates core in there, but the majority of the time is simply stretching and breath work. And it's very meditative for me. And so I just encourage you, don't always think of workout as just, hitting the gym or going outside or doing something that's move, move, move. Stretching is what allows the muscle to be really pliable and prevents injury. Um, and as we age, helps so much with balance and recovery. So that was my week one, y'all. It was good, it was good. So we'll see what happens in week two. I'll be back. Each week is my plan to share with you as much as I'm able to. Again, please make sure you are subscribed. Make sure that you leave comments. If you have a specific question based on anything that I've said that's not a medical, I can't be your doctor. I can't be your therapist. But if just something that's related to me or my experience, I'd love to hear from you. And thanks again, those of you who sent me messages, text messages. I got text messages, I got emails, I got DMs, all the things of people saying, "Hey, I see you. This is going to be fantastic." I got comments in the last video, so I just appreciate you all. That helps me a lot. I am usually the one that's pouring into people, and so to have you pour back into me feels amazing. And I want to ask for that more and more, as opposed to me always being the one. I love to pour into people. That feels good for me. And I realize I need people to pour into me. So please, any support you have to offer, I will gladly receive. If you don't have anything supportive to say, I ask that you keep it moving. But hopefully, if you've listened this long as I wrap up, you are a supporter. So have an amazing week. We'll be back. I'll let you know how week two goes in this whole GLP-1 journey, this alignment journey. You guys take care. Take good care of yourselves.